chapter, Dr. G.S. Nigam, who is with her, a source of inspiration, and Professor Niru Tandon. So all of you are most welcome, and we now go forward to the second step of today's webinar, and that is the address of Professor Dr. K. Elango. I request Dr. Elango to deliberate and to tell us in detail about your project, your vision, and your mission, India Reads. Dr. Elango.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thanks for all your kind words. I just want to check whether I'm audible enough to everybody.
You are audible, sir.
Audible. Okay. So first of all, I must thank each and every one of you for taking time off to be with us this evening. On a day like this, especially Sunday, taking time off from your family members and being with us. I know how difficult it is. We are grateful for that, and then we are much, much obliged to you all. There are 4 things I want to talk about very, very briefly. I'm not getting into details. The reason being, when some of us are there with you in person, we'll be able to get into the details. So to start with, I don't want to get into all the nuts and bolts and the nitty-gritties of India Reads program. So let me give you an overall view of what exactly this program is all about. There are 4 things I want to talk about, as I said, very, very briefly. First, there are 2 kinds of crises we need to be concerned about. One is external crisis. Obviously, all of us know what that external crisis is. I'm referring to climate change. And the entire world has taken cognizance of it, and the environmentalists are at it. The other kind of crisis that we need to be concerned about is I would like to call it cognitive decline, intellectual crisis. Unfortunately, till now, the world does not take a note of. There are ripples, people are talking about it, but I think we need to pay much more attention than, I would say, the external crisis, that's the climate change. Why this cognitive decline or intellectual crisis? It's primarily because of the generations of students that we have with us, popularly referred as Gen Z or Gen Z. These students, all of us know, are the visual generations. And we know, all of us quite familiar with that, the way they use the screen time. We are concerned about it. And especially when they are looking at the mobile screen, we know how fast they scroll up and down. And there are some who say that today readers are reading more because of the screen. Obviously, yes. But what kind of reading are they doing? When we say reading involves certain amount of investment of time, investment of energy. And moreover, the theoreticians say that reading has 4 important components to it, aspects to it, or dimensions to it, whatever you call them. When we say reading, it has to be understood, stored, retrieved, and applied. Only when all these 4 aspects are taken into consideration, you could say that you have read something or you have learned something. But today's learners, when they are scrolling the screen up and down, I don't think that any of the things are happening. They are looking at the images, no doubt. They are fascinated about the images that they come across. They are looking at the text, but they're not reading the text. That's a cause of concern. Even though some people say that our readers are reading more these days, yes, they are reading. But they are reading things which are not, I would call them trash, which are not required to be read. And even if they read, it almost amounts to non-reading, primarily because they're not internalizing them. They're not storing them. They're not retrieving them. They're not applying them. So it almost amounts to non-reading. That's our concern. And we are the ones, we need to address this particular issue. We need to arrest it, avert it. If we teachers don't do it, I don't think anybody else will do it. Politicians will not do it. Bureaucrats will not do it. Doctors will not do it. Engineers will not do it. Lawyers will not do it. Nobody will do it. It is our terrain. It's our concern. I think we as teachers, we need to be deeply involved in fixing this. If we don't fix it, I don't think anybody else will fix it. Today, the problem might not appear to be so very intense, but in another, because, after COVID or after mobile phone, smartphone, we are just about 2 decades old. And there are research studies which are talking about the adverse impact of the screen time. The screen time adversely affects the academic performance. It has been clearly established. There are so many studies in UK, USA, and several such places. We have clearly established the issues with the screen time. There are so many issues associated with the screen time, but we as academicians, we are concerned about this lack of reading habit. We need to address that. Why reading? Why is reading so very important? We all say reading is considered to be the mother of all skills. If our students, if our learners don't read, they can't become better speakers, they can't become better writers, they can't become better listeners, they can't even become better readers, because reading, you'll be able to get, it's a skill. You'll be able to get the skill by only repeatedly reading the text that you're asked to read or you're interested in reading. And more importantly, we talk about creative thinking, critical thinking, problem solving. When you're talking about 21st skills, we list out all these skills. And all these skills our learners will not be able to acquire if they don't have the habit of reading. So if our learners or the future generations of learners don't read for another 2 or 3 decades time, I think their cognition is going to be virtually empty. I don't know. Some of you might have read Time Machine, H.G. Wells' Time Machine. I'm sure you're all familiar with that. The narrator travels into distant future and he comes across people who are of just about 4 inches, and their cognition, this is what the concern is all about, is just about 5-year-olds. The grown-ups have the cognition of 5-year-olds. If you know that sci-fi is turning out to be true these days, I think H.G. Wells in the previous century, 19th century, toward the end of the 19th century, I suppose it was written in 1987, was able to visualize how the future is going to be. I think the technology is doing enough damage on our cognition as well. It has already affected our physical prowess. Okay, because of the technology, we are not using our body, many of our body parts, and in a way, it's affecting our cognition as well. And with the Chat GPT, I'm sure all of you are familiar with it. I don't have to be elaborate on it. And it, like the future seems to be bleak. Our cognition seems to be bleak. It looks as though we are not going to use it at all. So that's what we are concerned about it. That's the reason why ELTAI has taken upon itself to start this India Reads movement. Okay, what is it that we are going to do India Reads movement? We are trying to create, we are in the process of creating 100 modules for primary students. When we say primary students, it is from 3rd standard to 5th standard, and the secondary level, virtually it's high school, from 6th to 9th. Obviously, after that, 10th, +1, +2, we know the concerns of students as well as the parents. And the tertiary level students from 1st year to 3rd year, because this India Reads is conceptualized as a 3-year program. It's not, few months or 1 or 2 years time, because establishing a reading skill can be perfected only by repeatedly doing it. In 3 years time, we hope that we'll be able to make the students, our learners, readers. That's the reason why we want to offer it as a 3-year event. And then we are creating 100 modules. Just 1 or 2 words about what exactly we mean by modules. Each module will deal with one of the aspects of reading. What do I mean by that? We as adults, we know that we read fiction and non-fiction. Okay, if you're looking at fiction, under fiction, there are various kinds of fiction. We have mystery novels, we have crime novels, we have utopian novels, we have dystopian novels, we have got sci-fi novels, we have got romance novels, we have got historical novels. At least there are about 25 categories of novels. Similarly, if you're looking at non-fiction, that's also one of the popular genres read by adults like us. When the children learn, when they become adults, these are the ones that they're going to read. That's the reason why the focus is going to be on fiction and non-fiction. If you're looking at non-fiction, we have obviously, biographies, autobiographies, memoirs, new age books, self-help books. We have journalistic writing, philosophical writing, historical writing, scientific writing. Again, another 25 categories of them. Another thing is reading skills, call them reading strategies, because learners have to be familiar with the different kind of reading strategies. They are in a way familiar with skimming and scanning, but there are many more strategies. We have got things like previewing, predicting, inferencing, creative reading, critical reading. Again, there are about more than 25 reading strategies. The idea is that we want our learners to be familiar with the range of text genres, text types, and the reading strategies that they can adopt. The reading strategies should vary depending on the purpose for which they are reading a particular text. And unfortunately, the academia, the English program that we offer, or even literature students that are not exposed to, they're not being familiarized with these kinds of text ranges. So I think we have reached a point where we need to familiarize our learners, expose our learners to the range of texts that are available. It's not that they need to get interested in every genre of them, but sometime they might get interested, but they need to become familiar with the lack of knowledge should not be an excuse. Okay, they need to become familiar with all these genres. That's the reason. That's one of the main aspects of our main aims of India Reads program. And each module will have at least about 4 components. What are these 4 components? Each module will have 4 components. These are: 1, it will have audio and video, or one of them. It will have in-session reading materials. It will have engagement, and it will have the 4th component is the off-session reading materials. Let me illustrate it. Only then we will be able to concretize it. Okay, let me look at maybe a non-fiction autobiography. Let me give examples of how this particular module would be run for our students. Maybe this program need not necessarily be, maybe this module can start with a video. I'm going to share that video. Dr. Nigam or Dr. Neeru would send it across all of us over here after the program, maybe in a day or 2. But we will start with a video. This video, we are not downloading from any source, not from YouTube. We are producing our own video involving students. They call it students because it's easy for the students to identify themselves with these students. We are trying to keep away from, from the teachers or the grown-ups. We are trying to involve students as much as possible. These students will discuss among them. There are 3 students. They discuss among themselves what autobiography is all about. Some of the leading autobiographers, some of the components, aspects which are common to all the autobiographies, some of the autobiographies that they have read and liked, some of the autobiographies they did not like. So, this video is for about 6 or 7 minutes. When they watch this video, they will get an idea of what an autobiography is all about. And, each component is for about 15 minutes. It's a 1-hour in-person session. And they will get an idea of, after watching it, what an autobiography is, followed by in-session reading. In-session reading, what do I mean by that? For every module, we'll identify 5 books. What are these 5 books? These 5 books, we aren't going to be prescriptive. As far as possible, we are going to be descriptive. We would identify from the students somewhere, not formally, but informally, we would identify the students, some of the autobiographies that interest them. From the list that we gather from them, maybe about 2 or 3 books we could identify. And we as educators, we feel that there are certain must reads. So at least about, along with the 2 or 3, we can suggest about 2 books. So totally every module will have 5 books. These 5 books are curated based on the survey that we conduct among our students. And these 5 books will be of different sizes. Some of them would be slender, some of them would be bulky, because for some students, anything more than 100 pages would scare them. And so that's scaring away is not the purpose of this particular program, because we are trying to get them to read for pleasure, read for joy. That is the prime aim of this particular program. They need to read for joy. So these texts also will be from different walks of life. For instance, we could identify a text from sports, Playing It My Way, but by Sachin Tendulkar is one of the famous autobiographies. Then Abdul Kalam's Wings of Fire, or A Long Walk to Freedom by Nelson Mandela. Some of them would be national, some of them would be international. I think that's a kind of range that we need to expose them to. So from these 5 books, or from 1 or 2 books, or maybe 3 books, we would identify certain passages which are inspiring, not first chapter, last chapter, and somewhere in the middle at random. We are not going to choose the passages. We would identify the passages which are inspiring, which would be inspiring to the students. And these passages would be distributed to the students. So after watching the video for about 10 minutes or so, 10 to 15 minutes, they read these autobiographies to get a taste of what autobiography is all about. After that, the 3rd component is the engagement. In other words, a task. We don't want to call it task to sound academic, but we want to call it engagement. We have this module not merely passively to consume the autobiographies, but they need to actually produce autobiographies. So any engagement in any other module will be a pair work, triad work, small group, never an individual work. It's not a lecture, somebody talking down or talking to the students. Okay, it will be a pair work. For instance, for autobiographies, we could have a pair work in which two of them would talk between themselves. Besides the parentage and educational qualifications, they could talk about the turning points in their lives, the defining moments in their lives, and they could talk about the kind of future vision that they have for their lives, some of the influences in their lives, some of the things that they cherish in their lives. The idea is we are getting them to think about themselves, take themselves rather very seriously. So they are in a way ready for writing their own personal history. Okay, that is the idea behind it. We are not merely satisfied with reading somebody's autobiography, but they should be able to produce their own autobiography. So it's a consumption come production. That's the purpose of this particular module. Okay, so they are in a way ready to think about their own personal history. We may not be able to give them time within that 1 hour to write their autobiography, but off the session they could do that. So the last component of the module is off session reading. As I said earlier, there would be 5 books. All these 5 books would be physically taken to the session, and then they would be introduced to the by the mentors to the students. It's what happens generally at the college level. For instance, we are given a reading list, a bibliography, go and read. That's a kind of instruction that we get from our instructors or from the professors, whoever it may be. We are not going to do that. Each book will be introduced to the students physically. If it's a Wings of Fire, the mentor need not necessarily be the teacher. The mentor would show the book to the students and read out the blurb, read out foreword, read out introduction, read out some of the interesting lines here and there. So they would get a sense of what each book is all about. All the 5 books will be introduced to them. Okay, so in 1 hour, these are the 4 things that we are trying to do it. We would start off, it needed necessarily we are starting off with a video, but next session we could start with, let's say, the discussion, a group discussion. Okay, so we are going to have a video, audio, or both of them, and you would have in-session reading materials, in-session reading session, in-session reading, and then we would have engagement, we would have off-session reading material. So in 1 hour, this is how we are packaging it. After the program, the students are going to meet only once a week, because we expect the students to read, if possible, all the 5 books, but we know that they are not going to read all the 5 books. One of them, good. If they don't read even that one book, some pages, that's fine. Even if they don't read those pages, it's quite fine. At least if they attend this 1 hour session, they are able to get a sense of what an autobiography is all about. Likewise, each module will introduce one aspect of reading. We are not going to be repetitious. No module will be repeated. Only once of the 100 modules, we will do autobiography only once. The next session, next week, perhaps could be on sci-fi. Okay, the sci-fi could start with, let's say, a group discussion, then go and have the reading, in-session reading, and it could vary from session to session depending on the teacher, depending on the mentor who is going to conduct it. So that's how these modules are produced by us, involving the students. We aren't going to, download from any source. How are the students going to get the books? Okay, we say that 5 books, we introduce all the books, but the students must read. How are they going to access the books? Okay, this is a major problem. So one other thing that we could perhaps explore is each class should have a classroom library. Classroom library is not a new concept. It is there in the West. It is there in our country also. Some of the well-known rich schools have their own classroom library. I think we need to start that. Classroom library does not mean that we need to have a huge space. Maybe a revolving kind of small thing we can keep in a corner of a room or somewhere in the wall. We are looking at a shelf which can have about 50 books, and we can keep changing the books. Okay, so whenever we deal with a particular module, and the books that we refer to should be displayed over there, and the students should be allowed to borrow those books. And how are we going to get these books? If a class has about 30, 40, 50 students, how are we going to get the books? Okay, there are different ways in which we need to encourage people to donate books. The students themselves, because we know that once a book is read, it is lying idle at home. So can we get the students, if they have that particular book, can we get the students to bring the book and donate to the library? Even for a few days. After that, if they're interested in taking it back, we should allow them to take it back. Parents-teacher association, philanthropist. We are also talking to some of the corporates as a part of CSR. In Chennai, we have, HCL, Shivanada. Every day he donates about 3 crore rupees. If only we can reach him. I'm sure that with your help, we'll be able to reach out to many more Shivanadas, and we are not asking for money from those people. We'll give them a list of books, let them procure the books and distribute to the classroom libraries. So if you ask the students to go to the library and borrow books, they're not going to do that, because we know that library is not the place which is unused these days. One of the success of mobile phone is that it's so handy. They have it with them all the time. It is seeable, it's experienceable. Likewise, the books should be seen by them, should be accessed by them. Only then we can motivate the students to look at the books. As it is, the books have become like a mosquito repellent. The students are driven away from it. But I think we need to galvanize the students. We need to attract the students. And one of the ways in which we can do is, showing it to them. It's right in front of their eyes. When it is in front of their eyes, there is every chance of they're looking at it. So this is one of the ways we are planning to do it. How are we going to implement in each school? There is going to be a training program for every institution, at least about 5 to 6 teachers. These teachers are reading teachers. Need not necessarily be only from the Department of English, but we want them to be reading teachers. Only then they can rub off certain the reading culture among the students. We will train those teachers, and at least once or twice a year we will be training them. So briefly, this is how the program is going to be done. And then the third component is we want each student to have a portfolio. What do I mean by portfolio? What are things that are likely to go into the portfolio? The portfolio will have a profile of a student as a reader. To start with, we need to have this either through the questionnaire or through interviewing. If it's primary school, obviously they can't fill in the questionnaire. So we need to talk to them to find out the kind of reader that person is. Okay, whether it has the habit of reading. If yes, what kind of book? If the person has the habit of reading newspapers, what newspaper, in which language? Okay, so you will get an idea of the kind of person that that particular student is. Okay, so from there on, we are going to take the student. Even if the student doesn't read anything, it doesn't really matter, but we need to know what kind of learner that we have. It's not like, we are given a set of students, we go and teach a general English program. No, we need to be quite different. Only then the program can be successful. We need to know the kind of learner. If you're going to meet 30 students, you need to have some knowledge about each one of the students. You need to have a profile of the student. This profile is very descriptive. Anyone who looks at this profile would get to know, okay, if it is Nigam, for instance. Nigam is a reader. Okay, she reads. She doesn't like novels, but she's a voracious reader of, let's say, non-fiction. She likes memoirs more than anything else, and she spends every day about half an hour. But she has a desire to spend more than half an hour every day. Likewise, we need to find out from the students the kind of reader that they are, and we need to do this at least about 3 or 4 times during the 3-year program. Okay, whether to find out whether there is any kind of development, any kind of progression. Okay, after about 6 months or 1 year or 2 years, and toward the end also we are going to have this kind of a profile. So anyone who looks at, I think it would be much more valuable than the mark sheet that we issue. Mark sheet, somebody gets about 56, somebody else gets about 58. What's the difference between 56 and 58? Whether somebody is a recruiter or somebody does not know the difference between 56 and 58. And the kind of profile that we are going to create will be totally different. It will be descriptive. Anyone who looks at it, maybe the parents, maybe friends, anybody who looks at it will get to know the kind of person that you are. So it will have a profile, and it would be evolutionary profile. And secondly, the students can write the books that they read, things that they like about the book, and whatever they think. We shouldn't suggest that they should write reviews of the book, because the moment we make anything compulsory, the students are going to rebel against it. We can show them the way, okay, but I don't think that we need to insist that the students must do this. Okay, I think we should, as far as possible, avoid it. You could tell them that, do you like to write a review of it? Which passage that you liked about it? Did you like any particular character? Things like that. Let them write if they want to do it, and this will be a kind of portfolio. Portfolio, I'm sure all of us are familiar with it. In other words, it's a kind of a note. Okay, it can be a folder also in which the students record the reading experiences, the writers, the titles, because after 3 years' time, they might not remember the title, might not even remember remember what they've read. So I think this portfolio would help them out to get an idea of what it is all about. And the last thing that I want to mention about is ELTAI would conduct monthly events. Okay, it will be online. And let's say, what do I mean by monthly events? Maybe we could invite the celebrity writers and get the celebrity writers to interact with the students. We have 8-year-olds, 12-year-olds, even the students themselves publishing books. Can we get such students? Even if it involves money, I don't think that we need to bother about it. I think we need to get such people, get the celebrity writers, somebody who has got the a Sahitya Academy Award, or uh, someone who has got the, trying to recall her name. Shravan, you could help me out. Someone who has got the award recently for
Booker
translation.
Prize.
Sorry, a Booker Prize. What's her name?
Gitanjali Shri.
Gitanjali Shri. No, I think it would be quite exciting to listen to those people. Incidentally, the reading that we are promoting is not only in English. We are trying to promote bilingual reading. Okay, because we all of us know that the reading skills are transferable from one to the other. Okay, so even the eye movements, the way we process a thought, these are all extremely important, whether we read in English or whether we read in regional language. And moreover, in a country like ours, we need to become bilingual, multilingual, and try and promote, because there are enough number of studies in the West to show that learners are capable of learning any number of languages. I don't know why we say that you need to learn 2 languages or 3 languages. This is very confusing. And we also keep saying that L1, L2, and L3. And I keep asking, L1, L2, L3, what is it that the students' learning mind can make out of it? We as administrators, we know what we mean by L1, L2, L3. If a language is given to the student the way it ought to be given, their minds are willing to learn any number of languages that we give them. We create artificial barriers. We are the obstacles for the learners to learn. So I think that kind of a problem should be avoided. So ELTAI would conduct monthly events, inviting some celebrities or some of the international events like a DEAR, Drop Everything and Read. And we could have author of the month and things like that. Number of activities can be, as we go along, we will get input from you. Even locally in your own school, you could conduct your own program. And, some time ago, Dr. Shravan was suggesting that we need to recognize the readers, star of the month, for instance, someone who reads the maximum number of books on a Founders Day, on a Sports Day. Can we recognize such students? That's a morale booster for that particular student as well as for the others. There is some kind of recognition. You as the principal, when you recognize a student, there's nothing like that. I've come across a student, in the first standard, the teacher of the first standard, the girl did something good and then she fixed a star on her hand, just a sticker. And that girl for about a week refused to wash that particular hand. That's the kind of impact that we are creating. And we as teachers, I think we are the heroes or the heroines. And even the parents don't have that. Parents keep saying that that children don't listen to parents, but they listen to the teachers. Even if the teachers commit a mistake, and the students are willing to go by the mistakes of the teachers rather than the corrections given by the parents themselves. So likewise, we would have the events. And lastly, ELTAI would have one mega national event. This will be along the lines of Spell Bee contest, which is conducted in USA. All of us know the kind of words that are given in Spell Bee. Okay, when we know that the kind of words that are given to spell out, we are happy that Indians are winning that. But the kind of words that are given to spell out are, I would say, the weird words. Nobody uses them under the sun. I don't know why such a stupid contest has become so very glamorous all over the world. The entire world is enamored of this particular contest. Okay, something along the lines. Can we do something like speed reading? Speed reading is one of the skills that our learners need to acquire. But mind you, speed reading has nothing to do with one's intelligence. Speed reading is one of the skills, but the learners, when they read a textbook and when they read the newspaper, when they read a pulp fiction, they need to know what kind of strategy that they need to adopt. They should have the ability to read faster, as fast as they could do. So we could conduct some such contest, and then we can also conduct quiz. When we conduct quiz, we need to get the celebrity. Maybe people like Siddhartha Basu. I mean, these are the old names, or O'Brien. People of that kind. Can we get people like, let's say, Dhoni or Sachin Tendulkar from sports? Anybody except politicians? Can we get the top people, so that they come and they can excite the students? Sustaining the interest is the major thing. We can start it off, but somewhere along the lines, the interest would fade away. I think we need to avoid that. So let me end by saying that I've taken too much of time. I want to say that what is it that we are trying to drive at? Okay, ELTAI wants your institution to become the reading institution. ELTAI wants your learner to be readers, autonomous readers, lifelong readers. If you make right from the primary level onwards, if you make your student, your learner as a reader, I don't think they need byju's. I don't think they need quotas. Okay, they would manage everything on their own. That's the only way forward. So let's join our hands. I want this to be our vision, as Dr. Nigam pointed out, our vision, our mission. If all of us can join hands, this is something that we need to do for our students. Our students need it. Otherwise, developed countries might not be very much concerned about these things. But we as a developing country, we have got the hunger in our stomach. Education is everything for us. I think our students are looking forward to this. When there is so much of crisis around us in terms of employment, in terms of everything, I think we need to get our students ready. So that's the reason why ELTAI want this to become a movement, something like a CHIPCO movement. I'll end with this. There are 300 million students in our institutions from primary to university level. So when we have 300 million students, we have 600 million parents. We have 500 million uncles and aunts. I think it should be kind of bottom-up movement. Thank you all very much. In case you've got any questions after Dr. Shravan, and if Nigam permits us, we could take the questions for clarifications. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, sir, for such an enlightening address. You pointed out causes, concerns, and also how it can be solved. And the best thing I liked, and I would like to congratulate ELTAI, that holding hands together, friends, we can travel longer. And ELTAI, I must appreciate, has always been trying to lend a supportive hand to the learners as well as educators in sharpening the tools of learning and teaching through its webinars, continuous webinars, training the teachers and trying to upgrade the standard of education. And you have pointed out several things, and I liked very, very simple things, like you just see and understand. Unless you see, you won't understand. So see the videos, understand, discuss them, and not just see, not just read, but think also, critique also. And you should not be only a consumer, you should be a producer also. So read, understand, grab ideas, and then try to write them down in words. What a beautiful program, and the very interesting one, sir. Certainly, we all would like to be with you, to strengthen you also, and to strengthen our students also in carrying out this mission of yours. Are we going to have the video, Dr. Shravan? Dr. Shravan?
Yeah. Just a minute. Just give me a minute.
Yeah.
Or we can have Dr. Shravan, whatever he wants to convey, and after that we can have that video.
Okay, ma'am. So good evening, everyone, and special evening to my mentor, Dr. Niru Tandon, as well as all the principals, those who have joined us. And Sir Elango, sir, it's a cheating, like you decided. We both decided that you will be talking about only what, I'll be talking about why, but you have got, you as your baby, you have covered all the aspects, so nothing left for me. But yes, I'll show you a few videos and I'll talk to you in terms of why one should join our India Reads movement. But before that, I just want to mention the kind of, our passion towards this movement, to whom we are meeting and what kind of efforts we are putting in. So just give me a minute. Let me share my screen. This is a video with Mr. Anu Kapoor where we all requested for being brand ambassador of our reading movement. So just I want to play, it's a 25-second video. So he said, remind karayega mujhe. Now he has accepted that he is our brand ambassador. I'm sharing that announcement where he has accepted that, yes. On behalf of English language teachers of India, for our movement, India Reads, I requested Sir to be the brand ambassador for reading, and he suggested, motivated us, पढ़ना शुरू करो, पढ़ोगे तभी पढ़ोगे, read to lead. Thank you so much for accepting. And one more thing, one more video, then
all addiction, reading stands at the apex. It is believed that reading connects us deeper with humanity. Reading breeds intellectuals, helps us read with our eyes wide open and view the world more comprehensively. After all, the universe is like a big ball of knowledge. Let's read, learn, grow, achieve, and enjoy. Let us read ample and lead by example. It's time we start a reading revolution. Let's make a life out of reading.
So, why you all should join, as Dr. Elango has already told, that we are going to provide you an 100-hour module and LMS for all the levels, primary, secondary, and tertiary. Apart from this, a virtual library and classroom library, he has elaborated it. Training programs and free consultation for the teachers as well as the students. And apart from this, he has already mentioned a curated list of books and handholding of the mentors for 5 mentors from each institution, sponsored events and competitions for the students. He has already given this idea, and the important thing that you will be getting one SPOC for any kind of clarification. And the profiling of a student, whatever he was talking, I just wanted to show this video, this profile. This kind of profile we are going to provide each reader, the reading profile, name of the students, and there will be 5 levels: desirable level, average reader, good reader, commendable reader, and excellent reader. So this will be provided to each reader of your institution. So these are a few things which I just wanted to share. And apart from this, we have shown you that what kind of efforts we are putting. We want you to come and help us to make this movement a successful movement, as Chipko Movement sir has mentioned. So any question, how to join, how to go ahead, or any question, we are ready to answer any kind of question. Any one of you.
How can we incorporate all this within the syllabus of the school?
Ma'am, this will be not incorporated in the syllabus of the school. Otherwise, again, it will be imposed on the students. We want our students should read on their own to make them lifelong learner. We should avoid this practice. Yes, in the classroom, we can establish a library, and during free hours, during lunch, during recess, we can ask them to go and manage the library, because this will be the library for the students, by the students. So they will learn the managerial skills also with the help of these kind of libraries. So we should, this is my suggestion. Rest, if you all think that this should be incorporated in the syllabus, then I don't mind. Ma'am, you are muted. Neeru ma'am, you are saying something. I believe you are muted.
Actually, that would defeat our purpose, because we are not going to do that if we are forcing it, including it in the syllabus, or we just want that the student should come forward and accept it. It's not just to force it again on them. So we are not going to have it in the syllabus.
One question: are the students?
Yeah, just 1 second, ma'am. If I can add to it, it's in line with whatever has been said. In private schools, one of our English classes, I don't know whether you call it general English or just English classes, one class in a week can be exclusively for this. So it becomes part of your school schedule, not outside, but definitely not, as Dr. Shravan and Dr. Neeru pointed out, it's not part of the curriculum. It's an extensive reading program. Okay, and once they get into the habit of reading anything, and I think they will be able to accumulate the knowledge as they go along. So in some of the private schools, in government schools, it may not be possible. In some of the private schools, is it possible? Because we are looking at from 3rd standard to 9th standard. Can you convert one of your English classes into a reading program? Because in the West, there are certain classes which are exclusively for reading. There are certain classes which are meant exclusively for writing at the high school level. In our country, we don't have such distinctions. So this is something that you could do it if it's possible.
Certainly, sir, time will have to be allotted. That's how we can expose students to all these audios, videos.
Yes, I have one suggestion, sir. It should not be just the English class. It should be for every student, maybe belong to any stream for that matter. So it's not necessarily that only students who are there for the English class, they are coming for that, because the teachers we are involving not from only from English stream, we are just involving every teacher for that matter. So we are not just like we have in schools some general program for all the students. So there we can have it, like Madam Shobha will tell us more about the school kind of thing.
Right, right.
We have Madam Shobha Das, principal, and she's a very recognized and established academician, and she was English teacher. Now she is the principal. I invite Madam Das to speak her mind, whatever she wants to.
I'm a little unclear about how are we going to connect the students with the ELTAI initiative? Like, are they going to be in direct contact with ELTAI, people who are going to conduct this program, or are we going to be the Y media? How are we going to introduce students to this program? Is it going to be the teachers who will get everything that is suggested by ELTAI done by the students, or are the students going to be directly associated and get the assessment like the profile that you just showed in your video?
Elango sir, would you like to give the answer? Or
You respond to it,
Okay.
Shravan.
Ma'am, once you join hands with our association, we'll request you to identify 5 mentors, not specifically English teachers, anyone who loves to read. And apart from then, we will allocate the 100 modules in which text, audio, video, and the list of books. And we will train those 5 mentors to conduct the workshops for those students, and to conduct the activities, to conduct the competitions, and then the reading profile on the basis of their recommendations, because it will be signed, the certificate will be signed obviously by the principals or the head of the school, and one signed from the English Language Teachers Association of India. So your mentors will let us know that this student is a commendable reader, excellent reader, on the basis of those various activities suggested or discussed amongst ourselves. Like maybe speed reading, one of the activities which we can conduct. So, and how to conduct this, we have already mentioned that during the classes, during free hours, or a kind of, on Saturdays, Fridays, we need to grab somewhere an hour and make them learn. We need to provide a kind of facility where they are going to read, because we all know that there is a library period. So they can go and start reading any kind of book, Hindi, English, their own native language book, because our intention is to make them read. So by this, we all can connect. And sometimes we can also, as ELTAI, or we can invite others to connect those students through your mentors, them directly. This will be a kind of indirect channel, but yeah, supervision can be given by us. You can also supervise us. Anyone can help us. This is a very flexible system. So this is a flexible movement. You can say.
Very is a good suggestion.
Yeah,
One important thing we have missed. I would like to tell others who are not ELTAI members that your institution will be the member of ELTAI. You will have to join us as ELTAI members, and the fee is very less for that. Just for institution, it is 4,000 for 10 years. Okay, and like for individual, it is 3,000 for 10 years. So that way, like, we are inviting people to come and join and become the member. So all the benefits that we are giving to our members, that automatically that would be given to all of you. Like we have journals, and you will be able to get those journals free of cost every second month. There we have good research and other things that would benefit the students and the teachers also, like Miss Kavisha Khurana is there, and she told me that every day she is the director of Chintals, and she told me that every day she goes through that JELT, and she just experiment something out of that, and she just applies those things what Professor Elango writes in his column in his school, and she feels benefited, that the students are getting benefited by that. So that way there are many more things. We can conduct a workshop. Professor Elango can come in person over here when we have all those schools together, and they can in person train them. We have workshop. Professor Shravan can come. So this is just a beginning, just to let you know what we are thinking, and we welcome your suggestion also. You can come up with the suggestion as per your need. So we are very flexible in that. The purpose is that we must join our hands. It is not only limited to a state or a city, it's at least India. Professor Elango has a vision that when we talk about English language teaching, so Indian ELT, that is why we should follow the Western pattern only, so we can have a vision of Indian ELT. So these kind of things are being conducted by ELTAI. So we need your cooperation and suggestions and active participation in keeping this movement just continue.
Essentially,
Shravan, I believe
it-
your doubt is clear now.
yeah, essentially it will be
Yes, yes.
your program, ma'am. You are a school program. Okay, ELTAI is just an outside support to you.
We'll give your school certificate also. We'll give certificates and the proper certification, that, and you can use our logo for that. ELTAI, that
Yeah.
is All India Body English Language Teachers Association of India. So that's a prestigious one, and we are like affiliated with British Council also, and ITFL also. So there are many more things. We'll explain that to you later on. Anybody else has any question?
Rati, would you like to say something?
Any comment? Any question?
I just feel that session has been an informative one. And like sir said that it can be incorporated in one of the periods. So I believe that in one of the language periods, probably we can encourage the children. It will all start with the English teachers. That's what I believe. And we can carry it further on.
We have with us Mr. Rakesh Tripathi ji. Rakesh Tripathi ji हमारा बहुत ही prestigious institution है, दीनदयाल उपाध्याय स्कूल, तो वहाँ पे जो है वो प्रिंसिपल हैं. उन्होंने बहुत सारी नई चीजें इंट्रोड्यूस करके उसमें वंडरफुल जो है वो इफेक्ट क्रिएट किया है, and he has taken schools to a new height. So I request Rakesh ji to say a few words about it.
Ma'am, it's a really very good thing. We can execute the things. Once you meet, I think someone from your side should meet us physically, and then
Yes.
when we can start, I think it's very good.
It's really
Initial-
nice. It's not just about this program only, but we from what Dr. Elango has just said, I've already got so many ideas that could be implemented in schools to induce the children to reading, into reading. So I think this is really very, very enriching, the whole experience of today's meeting.
Thank you so much. Initial stage, we are just trying to have 5 schools, and we'll start. Professor Elango has given his consent to be here anytime. So Professor Shravan also will come. So just 5 schools are there, and we'll just start with 5 schools. Later on, other schools can join. So you can just send me your consent that you are ready to join your hand. So Mrs. Nigam, myself, we'll come to you, no issue.
Dr. Tandon, that Sri Ram Education Center has already sent, tomorrow they are sending the check for membership. So keep one place reserved for them out of these 5.
Sure. Chintels has also given the consent.
So just
yes,
since
ma'am.
they are into 5 only, so that's
Yeah.
why I have to.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be only 5, ma'am. I
No,
think
no,
the
just
more,
minimum 5. Yeah.
yeah, it can be as many as possible. We would like to train member institutions and non-member institutions also who are interested in, who are likely to take the membership of ELTAI.
This is the magic of your presence, Dr. Elango. People are coming up.
Yeah,
to
sure.
be a
Ma'am.
part of ELTAI. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dr. Kavisha Khurana is there with us, Director Chintel's School. Kavisha, would you like to say something?
Yeah, good evening, all the prestigious dignitaries. It was a wonderful session. I could join a little late because of some connectivity, but it was so wonderful, sir. Thank you for giving us insight. Actually, children these days have absolutely stopped reading. And let's not only talk about children, even we as an adults now are so addicted to our phones that our readings have eventually decreased of what we used to read. So you've given wonderful ideas, and we would love to have you over and collaborate with you so that reading becomes a hobby again. So we look forward for it, sir.
Sure. Sure.
And so one more thing I just wanted to ask, like these days in schools and everywhere, we are talking about a lot on uh, gamifying, especially for the primary sections on gamifying education. Can something like this be inculcated with reading as well or with English as well? So that will be great. I just wanted to ask that thing.
Suggest the ways of doing it, ma'am. We will gamify.
We can,
I
yeah.
mean, yeah.
Yeah.
And I have my own apprehensions about learning is fun and gamifying. I mean, you and I know that learning is a serious business, ma'am. It can't be fun. It can't be, a flippant activity. I think you need to have whole focus on what exactly you're doing it. It requires utmost concentration. So the British Council was the one which has popularized the concept like learning is fun, gamify, and all that. When it comes to reading, you need to be with the book. You need to have the whole focus, high concentration level. I doubt how much we can, bring in aspects like gamification and fun. But if you can show us the way, we would love to follow it, ma'am. I mean, I'm not against
Yeah,
that
so
idea.
I just wanted your ideas that how can we incorporate it, especially for the younger lot of children.
Sure, ma'am. Sure.
That we can talk about
Yeah,
it, sir, when
definitely.
we meet.
Yeah,
We'd love to have you over, sir, and discuss a lot of ideas. Thank you for sharing your insight and making us so insightful
sure.
today. So lovely session, Naveen ma'am and Neeru ma'am. Thank you for inviting me over. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kavisha.
All of us have lots of ideas, ma'am. Only thing is that today, Nigam and Neeru has given me the opportunity. I'm sure that all of us will pull in our ideas, and collectively we need to take it forward, and we need to become a model for the entire world, ma'am. I mean, that's what we are concerned about it. And interestingly, look up. I'm going to end with this. If you look up website, if you Google 10 topmost reading nations, India is number one.
Oh,
Surprising with all this, like UK and USA, they are far behind. So I think we need to give this. Yeah, we need to give us this kind of a leadership to the entire world, ma'am. India has to emerge as a leader.
That's wonderful, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Else who wishes to discuss something and ask something?
Sir, just to add, like gamification of the reading or learning, definitely, like I believe that we all can, as you all already suggested, that we can, if Kavisha ma'am is going to suggest a few activities, and once we are there in Kanpur, definitely I'm going to suggest 4 or 5 activities with reading, with the help of these kind of games, where the younger generation can learn, and they can, their intentions toward reading should be very genuine, very automatic. They will say, no, I'm going to read it. So likewise, we can do that, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Kumar. Thank you so much.
Rati Gupta, do you want to say something?
Yes, sir. I agree with Kavisha ma'am and Sir Shravan sir that this gaming is actually going to add a boost on, especially for the children of middle school and even for classes 1 to 5 for that matter. It is really going to be quite an encouraging boost for them. So if we can work on this, we all can pool in ideas, and definitely it is going to be a good outcome.
I would like to share one experience over here. Recently, I went to buy a book for a relative of mine, and the boy is of 3 years old. So just I was going through something new, and the book that I got, that is the book with augmented reality. So this is something, a kind of book where you will have an app over there. And what is going, when the child goes through the book, there is a dinosaur. So when the app, with the help of the mobile phone, you focus on that, so that image starts moving and doing actions and something like that. So even with reading, we have incorporated this augmented reality and technology over there. So that is also a kind of game or something like that that they have introduced. So it's very much in vogue these days.
Right,
And
right,
that
ma'am.
should create interest
Yes,
also, interest of students
Yes,
also to
yes.
go
this
to
is
that.
this is just
Basically,
that they
Absolutely,
should start
absolutely.
reading it. And they can do it
basically,
only when they read it and find the clue and then
The
focus on
clue.
that. Kavisha
absolutely.
must be knowing it.
Yes, ma'am, absolutely. Even for the middle schoolers, like fifth to eighth, also there are so many. Even the course books, ma'am, which comes now. For then also there is a scanner. You can scan it so that things may come alive and stuff like that keeps on happening. So it does create an interest. And how can we boost it a little
So
more
I
with reading? We need to discuss on that.
yes. Any other question? So I just once again request all the schools. So just send your formal consent to either to Naveen ma'am or to me, and we'll have a schedule in consultation with all of you, and then we can have an offline meeting, a kind of training also for your teachers. So you can just send me. So rest of the things, the formality to become the member and other things, we'll coordinate with you, and that would be done.
I can send the form to them on email ID.
Yes, even
They
personally also
facilitate,
we can visit the schools. Personally
Yeah.
also we can visit the schools
Sure.
and answer their queries, and
Sure.
membership formality and everything would be done. So
Mhm.
we'll have the name of the teachers, and then we can just arrange the offline meeting.
You can make a small
Is
profile.
it okay, Professor Elango? Is
Yes,
it
yes,
fine?
ma'am. Yes, yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay.
So I hope nobody else is going to ask any question now.
Yeah, fine. That's all for
So
today.
now I invite Professor Neeru Tandon, who is almost the soul of ELTAI Kanpur chapter and keeps on guiding besides being busy with every thing, her college and ELTAI and all that, but she finds time to promote activities in ELTAI Kanpur chapter. So I request her to give her concluding remarks and thank our esteemed guests who are present here with us today.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your kind words. I think I've already spoken out of my turn, so that is another thing. But of course, I would like to thank all of you, especially Professor Elango. And I have seen his commitment, his vision, and that is an inspiration that whatever he is not doing for an institution or for a person or for himself. He is doing it for India. So when it comes anything to do for country, all of us have extra power, extra energy to do that. And believe me, this we are doing for our coming generations. So all of us must join our hands and just turn this vision into reality. So I'm very hopeful that many more schools will come and join us with this, and Kanpur chapter is committed to just in this movement. And I have friends like Nivedita and Ashna and Seema, like many, they are very enthusiastic, and without even their confirmation, I know they are with us and they will do whatever is required. So Professor Elango, I would like to assure you on behalf of Kanpur chapter that we are there with you, with ELTAI and with India in this movement, and we'll do our level best. Under your guidance, we'll do that. I thank Professor Shravan Kumar, who is my own that way, but national vice president we call, and we feel proud. So thank you so much for joining and always being there whenever we need you. And all our friends, all our respected teachers, Madam Shobha Das, Rakesh ji, Kavisha, and many more like we have. So Ravi Shankar ji and Sudha Singh Suparna Mishra ji, and Yash Srivastav. So all these schools who have sent their representatives, so I request them to kindly convey thanks on behalf of the Kanpur chapter to your principal and to your managers. So definitely we are open for your questions after this event also. You can talk to us, send your queries, we can come to you, you can come to us. So let's have this relationship. This is just the beginning. We'll move ahead with this. And a big thanks, of course, to our chapter president, Mrs. Naveen Moini Nigam. She is a perennial inspiration. And whenever I feel like saying I'm tired, I look at her and I never say that word again. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Neeru.
ma'am.
And
Thank you.
I also request all the principals and their representatives who are here to come forward, because ELTAI is doing wonderful job in chiseling and polishing your talent of teachers as well as those of students. And this one is a very fantastic idea, fantastic mission that we are going on in DREs. We really need it these days, because he has already pointed out that cognitive intelligence is on the decline these days because of climate change and because of pandemic. People are so much used to screen time that they hardly find any time to go into the books. So books are jealous mistresses. So you have to concentrate on the books, keep on reading, keep on looking at the books. Then you will feel enchanted to find the mystery hidden inside the book, the knowledge, the interesting facts which are there. So we have to create interest at our home also, to our children also, to our relatives also. We have to tell them that reading, you read, then only your children will read. So that should be our mission, and we will certainly hold hands with ELTAI, and ELTAI is holding hands with us, and all through they will navigate us in carrying out this program, and also in training teachers, and in inculcating the fondness and interest in reading. So we now come down to the end of the session, and it has been a very enlightening experience to listen to you, Dr. Elango, and a very pleased, and it's a pleasing experience for us to know that you are in Kanpur chapter. This time you are here with us, and Shravan, whenever we give a call to you, you're always there. So thank you so much, and thanks to all the principals and all the representatives who are here, and thanks to Dr. Neeru Tandon and members of our chapter who found time to be here, though they were busy. Most of them were busy with certain, celebrations somewhere here or there. But for some time, they must have joined, I'm quite sure. And all the executive committee of ELTAI, it is there with me, and I hope it will be there with me in carrying out all these programs. So thank you so much, all of you. And please keep coming. Please keep coming. Keep joining these very valuable webinars, seminars, whatever we try to organize. Kavisha, you too. Keep coming, because your presence is very important, very, very encouraging, right?
Yes, ma'am. After today's session, I will assure that I will attend the maximum I can, because it was such an enlightening and learning one. So for sure I will.
Yeah, not only I am the source of inspiration, you all are source of inspiration to me. So thank you so much. Professor Elango, do you want to say something?
No, ma'am. Thanks, ma'am. After thanks, no more words, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And we'll just close down the program.
Sure, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.